I am so sick of my clients that have ADHD being diagnosed incorrectly with OCD. ADHD is not OCD. OCD is not ADHD, and there are some fundamental and incredibly important differences. In ADHD, frequently, people think about the same thoughts again and again and again and again, and that's part of hyperfocus. It's not a ritualized, obsessive rehashing, it's an inability to change the subject. But here's the thing that really bothers me. It's that so many of our compensatory strategies, as in the things that we have actually had to learn to do on purpose in order to offset the challenges related with ADHD, that's what a compensatory behaviour is. These are rational, smart, correct things to do. OCD is an anxiety disorder. ADHD is more complicated than that. Now, why am I talking about this? Where did this all come from? So today, I was moving some things in and out of a storage container, and like at a storage facility. And every single time I did, when I was leaving, I'd of course lock the thing. I'd be gone for who knows how long. I of course wanted to make sure that the thing was locked. It had lots of valuables in it. And every single time I'd get out, I'd prepare to slide the bolt over and push the lock up, and I would triple check I would make sure that my keys were in my pockets, and then not only would I go, oh, those are there, I'd pull them out, and I would look, and I would go, and is this absolutely the correct key for this lock? And then I would maybe put it down, or I'd put it in the lock, and then I'd look at it again and go, yes, I have the keys, and then I'd put them in my pocket and be like, I have them, and then I would shut the lock and lock them. Now, for some people, and by the way, I did that every single time I left that container, which was about 4 or 5 times today. Every single time I did that entire process. That's exactly what I need to do because of how many times I've tapped my pockets and gone, oh, those are keys. Cool, lock the thing. And it turns out they're my car keys or a different set of keys or just something else that jingled in a similar way. And my ADHD brain didn't realize. And I actually have locked my keys in the facility. I've done things like this so many times and I'm sick of it. So I've learned things to do instead. I've learned strategies. And is it annoying, and is it tedious, and is it time consuming, and is it something that other people don't need to do? Probably. But is it OCD? No. Because I'm not anxious that if I don't check my keys an even number of times, that my son will get hit by a bus. I'm not thinking that. That's OCD, ritualized behaviors that are quite irrational and have this anxious component. And they're compulsive because we must do them or something terrible will happen. So we have to. That's not the case. I have to check that I have the right key because I'm sick. I'm very... You could say I'm anxious perhaps, but I just don't want to be locked out again and have to call the locksmith and spend hundreds of dollars for the call-out fee. Maybe after hours. I don't want to do that for the 20th time in my life. It's awful. And it's what happens if I don't check this many times. So I do. Now why am I particularly upset about this? Because frequently, my clients who have ADHD describe things like this. And certain specialists say, oh, you couldn't have ADHD. It must be OCD because you do it again and again. You're just smart and you've developed a compensatory strategy and you're smart enough to use it. Oh, it's ADHD if you forgot to check your keys at all and you'd lock yourself in. No, you've done that enough to have learned. It's different. Or rather, it's not different. It is ADHD. Stop misdiagnosing people who have ADHD as OCD. Because these fears are rational, they're real. They're things that we have done so many times. It's not this thing that if we don't do it, some absurd thing will occur. That's not what's happening. Okay, rant over. Hopefully this was useful to someone wondering, oh, I really thought I had ADHD, but they said it's OCD, so I'll stop pursuing the ADHD diagnosis. Don't do that. Very, very common for people to be incorrectly diagnosed. And then they stop looking for the correct treatment. They just suffer because the OCD diagnosis and the medications for that aren't correct. They don't help. They don't solve the problem, but people go, oh, well, it must be this, and I guess I just suck then. And maybe you do, but maybe you don't. Maybe there's something else, and that's likely something else. This happens so often. And it ruins lives. And I'm sick of saying it. So, if you're someone who's diagnosing people, please understand more about what you could be saying and the consequences of that. And if you're someone who's recently been diagnosed and you're not really confident that it actually is correct, or you're not responding to the treatments, well, maybe it's not the right diagnosis. People aren't perfect, they make mistakes. And even if they did misdiagnose you, they would probably try to do their best, but mistakes happen. I've said enough of what I want to say. I'll just get repetitive at this point, and I already am a bit. So thank you for your time. I hope this helped, and all the best.